All right, we're going to talk about Spec Ops and Battle World. We're also going to talk about the new Turkey store and the Mephisto Red Star orbs, where you can get Mephisto up to 6 and 7. We're also going to talk about Annihilators being in the bumps, which is going to be like basic and the Ultimate store and Mega Orbs and Premium Orbs and so on and so on. So this has probably been the most controversial part of Battle World, outside of the people that get a black screen when they go into Battle World. If you get the black screen, a lot of people are able to force close the app and then they can get into Battle World. So Spec Ops, there's a couple things to keep in mind, is that the rarity of them is much more challenging in the bottom right hand corner. Like if we go into Spec Ops 8, this is where the 1 diamonds are going to be. Spec Ops 7 is where the gear tier 19s, and then all the way up to Spec Op 1 is going to be like 3 yellows. So it's definitely going to be more challenging to go through here. And depending on how your alliance works, the general suggestion, and not for everyone, I mean, some alliances might want to start on 1 for different reasons, but in our alliance, they're encouraging us to work on Spec Ops 8 and work through 7. Now, the thing is that these Spec Ops are going to change from day to day. And even though we're on the most easy mode right now, the characters that we put into Spec Ops is definitely going to negatively impact the number of points that we get inside of each zone, which is going to determine if we advance to the next zone. Now, there's a couple things that I don't think are super obvious and not pointed out. Each zone needs to be 30 or it doesn't count. 29 of 30 is the same as 0 of 30. So this is going to require some planning from Alliance leadership, which I imagine is going to be not fun. For example, this is today, Spec Ops 8, and you can see that there's 6 different characters for a total of 30. 5 players need to have a 1 diamond vulture. If 4 people in your alliance have a 1 diamond vulture, then Spec Ops 8 is not useful to do. So if you don't have 5 players to meet the requirements for each individual zone in Spec Ops, there's no value in putting 29 of 30 and then missing because of that 1. And then if you've got 5 players that have only an individual character in each one of these zones, then those players need to know that they absolutely have to play. Now, the bad news about this is that, each player can put 10 characters. So that means that to get 30 of 30 across the board does require full alliance of 24 people placing 10 characters each to get the max. Now, the good news is this is not as important as people are making it out to be. So getting all of them completed gives a bonus 5,200 points, and that requires a lot of coordination. However, one person just not completing this particular node blows up 5,400 points. Completing the nodes is so much more important than Spec Ops. Way more important than Spec Ops. So I know everybody's like pulling their hair out, rightfully so, but it's the completing the nodes matters way more. And so the Spec Ops, a lot of people are speculating is going to be how the leaderboards and tiebreakers are determined. The other way that the leaderboards are going to be determined is the number of times that you kill null. So the other thing I wanted to point out is that at the time of recording this video, this is what our Spec Ops looked like in our alliance. We'd only completed this one up here. And I want to say that, I don't know, maybe a little bit more than half of our alliance had filled this out. But we were way over the number to go to the next zone. So we didn't have full alliance participation in clearing all the nodes. We were nowhere near clearing all of these Spec Ops, and we are already well over double the amount to go to the next zone. So there's going to be a total of 6 zones. You go from And the first 5 days are relatively the same. You go from zone 1 to zone 2 to zone 3 to zone 4 to zone 5. If you don't get 60,000 points in the first day, my understanding is that the second day you will still be in zone 1 and your points will carry over. The downside to that is you won't make it to null, which is going to be on the last day, the 6th day. And there's no spec ops on the 6th day. And then also Big Positive Geek did make a infographics, and you can see here they are for zone 1, day 1. Here are all the spec ops. Also, there were some small changes to the room rules, and you can see all the room rules and so on. And it looks like to me for right now that completing the zones seems way more important than spec ops. And also by completing the spec ops, you're going to be handicapping your ability to complete these nodes because they have boosted characters. So the 5 people that use Vulture, not Vulture, but Lizard, the 5 people that use Lizard right here are not going to be able to use Lizard in there. And I think that's going to matter more and more as the difficulties go up. It seems to me that they're stalling the difficulties until the full Astral team is out. And I know a lot of people ran Pegasus, and a full Pegasus seemed to be better. I did the hybrid. I did these 2 and 3 of the Pegasus. Ancient One will be out before Emma, and then I don't have any details as to when the Shadow King will be out. So this is day 1. Here's day 2. Here is day 3. Here's day 4. There's day 5. And I know a lot of people are rushing to build spreadsheets and things like that. Somebody sent me one. I haven't had time to research it and look into it. But that requires your alliance having the roster thing checked, which I'm going to show right now because I think this is kind of important. If you go into the Marvel Strike Force website and you go into your roster, there's a place right here which by default it says not shared with anyone or alliance only. If you don't have that alliance only tagged, then your alliance leader is not going to be able to see what you have in your roster to make a determination on how you're going to fill out the spec ops. If your alliance decides that spec ops even matters. I feel like in some way spec ops is only going to matter to, the veteran alliances with the heavy spenders and so on, and for leaderboards and things like that. So let's move on to the Turkey store. So this is kind of interesting. I don't really know how I feel about this. We've got a Turkey store here, which there was a limited number there, and then 250,000 was a very high number. So it's like hard to get these turkeys outside of the bang for buck on the website, which we're going to go take a look at it. And then the other thing too, for 3,000 turkeys, you could get 2 moon dragons. So there's a couple things that were clarified by the developers on this. First thing, before we get into the clarification, actually, let's go to the clarification is right. The Strange doesn't have a dedicated slot. Pathfinder said he will be added at a later date. And then the other one is, can you let the team know that having to buy this 100 times is stupid because there's only 2? It's there every refresh. So it's a dedicated slot. Instead of the character chance, it's several. They're fixed in the store. We'll share the feedback with them. Yeah, it seems weird to me. And then Yuletide Bringer did the math. So if there's there 100% of the time and 3 refreshes a day, 28 days, so that's 84 times or 168 shards. So if you're not spending the refreshes, which like I'm willing to do the 50s, mostly because I'm interested in getting red stars on Mephisto, you're not going to get the awakened ability on Moondragon. Although the awakened ability on Moondragon is not the super important one as far as the awakened abilities on the Astral team. And every single character in the Astral team has at least 2 awakened abilities, and Shadow King has 4, and all of them have bonuses inside of Battle World. But if you want the Battle World bonuses to work in Alliance War, you're gonna need the awakened abilities. So Mephisto Red Star Orb Fragments, interesting. There's a 20% chance of getting the 6 red and a 5% chance of getting the 7 red. I kind of expected that, I guess, a little bit. The cost I was not expecting, 250,000. I mean, maybe I'll be able to open one of these every couple days, even refreshing the 50s. We are seeing people that already have 7 red Mephistos. Oh my God. And my best guess on the way that they're getting them is the bang for the buck. They're using the website to purchase, let's say, Ultra Cores. And you can see there are a bunch of turkeys the further you go down. I guess that you can do this over and over again. I see this number right here. Repetitions remaining. You could do, hey guys, Scopely gives you the privilege and the honor of spending $500 99 times if you want to. I'm just saying, if you want to, get a bunch of turkeys and do it now. Also, there's Captain Britain shards, Captain Britain basic, passive awakened, and I know a lot of people are talking about this. This is where Shadow King's basic awakened ability material is also here in the bang for your buck on the web store. I do want to go over this right here. Recruit the Annihilators. Gladiator, Gore, and in-game Thanos have been added to the Ultimus basic premium mega orbs. And then also when it says Ultimus, that is the Ultimus store, into the supply section of the Ultra and the main store. So they already put that there. And then they moved some of them around. But I just wanted to focus in and talk about the Annihilators. And I opened 668 basic orbs, 397 premium orbs, 25 mega orbs, and 100 ultra orbs. And I was only able to get Gladiator to 7. Those orbs, this is my end result. Yeah, Gladiator got to 7, and I'm still short on Thanos, Endgame, and Gore. The drop rates are, I mean, there's so many characters in the game, and I guess what I learned from this is that premium and basic orbs are somewhat useless. Yes, they do give currency and Ultimus food for the store, and then you're just waiting for the store. Like I'm going to be waiting for the store. Now, there are Gore and Gladiator shards available in the Battle Pass, so there's that. Now, lastly, I just want to go over 2 Reddit perds. Crucible season rewards really need to change. I agree. Like the War season rewards give a ton of gold. The Crucible season rewards should give a ton of training mats or even training orbs. That would make great sense. Currently, rewards available are abysmal. And I know that when I was playing a new player account, training orbs seem to be the major bottleneck, and maybe they want to keep it that way. I'm not really sure. And then lastly, there are 50 zombie juggernauts and zombie Iron Man and Hela shards in the story portion of the Red Dead rematch. And I think a lot of people bypass the most basic stage. The most basic ones are where you get to use the game provided characters, and I think a lot of people just push auto, but a lot of people go right to the second or the third part, and they overlook the first part. But there are zombie juggernaut shards there, so check it out. Let me know what you think about all of this in the comment section. As always, thanks for watching. Bye for now.